Hey girl, are your healthy habits all over the place or non-existent? Do you wish you could find true food freedom, move your body for joy, and really just talk a little nicer to yourself? If you have tried to habit hack your health, but the strategies you've tried just haven't worked for you in your busy lifestyle, then this podcast is for you. Hey, I'm Emily Nichols, habit and fitness coach, behavior change specialist, and Taco Tuesday enthusiast. Hey, I am here to tell you there is an easier way than what we've been taught about our health and our habits. How do I know? Well, because I've transformed my own life through habit hacking, and now my family gets the best of me, and I now help my clients do the same. I'm now going to teach you how to create healthy habits in less time, guilt-free for all seasons of your life. It's not your fault your habits haven't worked, my friend. We just have to do them differently. So, are you ready to feel empowered and transform your habits and life? Then let's do this. Hey gang, welcome to this week's Habit Hack Thursday. I hope you're having a great day. So this week we are back to talking about mindset for your weekly habit hack. And this was really inspired by a quote I recently heard on another podcast. And it said, "You can't spell challenge without change." Let me say that again. You can't spell challenge without change. You know, we're always transforming, and as we go through seasons of our lives, I feel like I'm changing as well. I change as my kids get older. That's a whole topic for another episode. You know, I've never been the mom of a teenager before. I actually just said that to my son the other day, like, hey, I've never done this before. We're learning as we go along. And as you're changing, I'm having to change. And it's challenging, right? It also applies to fitness, right? When we're trying to maybe lift a little heavier or run a little bit faster or further or do something uncomfortable like slowing down and trying yoga, which was a big transformation for me and challenge last year. But it changed me. It transformed me. And I want today to really inspire you to lean into the discomfort. If you need a little help, overcoming that mindset when it comes to transforming and changing, because it is challenging, make sure to go check out the Mindset Habits Accelerator. I address the top 3 challenges I've heard from you, my audience, as far as habit hacks, my very best habit hacks when it comes to mindset. Those challenges being chaos, clutter, disorganization, your own confidence, and what true self-care means, which we'll talk a little bit more about self-care next week. This has been on my heart a lot lately. So if this quote has given you some feelings of anxiety, you are not alone. You know, when we're trying new healthy habits, especially, it can feel uncomfortable, and that's okay. That's where the growth lands. Change can be challenging, really, because it requires you to step out of your comfort zone and adapt to new situations. But at the same time, it can provide opportunities for personal and professional growth. So there's that push and pull between, oh, this is so good for me, but oh, it feels really uncomfortable. But by embracing change, you might develop new skills, you might learn from new experiences, overcome obstacles that really could be holding you back, right? Challenge and change are really just interconnected. They are interconnected, and one often leads to the other. And when you're faced with challenges, you may need to just change your approach or your mindset in order to overcome those, right? On the other hand, when you embrace that change, you may be presented with a challenge that you need to overcome, right? They're intertwined, but a change can be a catalyst for growth. And that challenge can be an opportunity for learning and development. But as I was thinking more about this quote and what would really speak to you today, I wanted to share the 5 reasons why change may feel so uncomfortable and why we don't want to lean into it. At the end, I'll have a big habit hack for you in regards to mindset and that challenge that comes with change. Okay, so one of the first reasons is the fear of the unknown. Okay, we often refer back to what's comfortable, right? And what's familiar instead of the uncertainty and unknown. Change can represent really a threat to your stability, right? And it makes you feel uneasy and hesitant to step into that change. Loss of control. Number 2, change can also represent a loss of control, which can make you feel vulnerable, maybe anxious. You may often feel like you have to have some sense of control over your life and your environment. And when you are stepping out of that comfort zone, it's like, oh, I'm losing control. I'm not in control of this. Number 3, just talking about that comfort zone. We're often feeling comfortable in their current situation, even if it's not ideal, right? How long are you going to stick with what you're doing now as far as like barely surviving? You're a hot mess express. You are the conductor. Choo choo, buckle up, let's go. But you won't step out of that comfort zone, because it's just so uncomfortable to do that. Number 4, maybe it's just a lack of understanding. So you may resist change because you just don't understand the reasons for it or the potential benefits. Whenever you start any of our accelerators, we really dig into deep as far as like, okay, why do I want to change my mindset? Why do I want to change my food freedom? Why do I want to focus on movement more? Why? It can't just be surface level. And we just don't have a real understanding as far as how is this challenge going to help me, even though it feels really uncomfortable now. And number 5, as I was really thinking about this, of course, it really just comes down to habit and routine, right? We naturally tend to fall into our own habits and routines, which can make it difficult to adapt to new ways of doing things, right? You're changing these like established patterns of behavior, and that requires effort, right? We talk all the time about all the tabs we have open in our head, and when we are starting a new habit, that opens up another tab and it feels hard. And a lot of times we give up because it just feels hard. A bunch of the habit hacks I teach are regarding overcoming barriers, making it convenient as possible through the habit hacks I teach to start a healthy habit, right? Where you're able to incorporate it into the routines you already have, habit hacking it to make it feel eventually like an unconscious behavior that you just crave. Okay. So overall, it's just really important. I want you to recognize that resistance to change is normal. It's a natural, like human thing to be like, ooh, change, growth. Yeah, I don't want to do that. It feels uncomfortable. We get just so stuck on autopilot. But what if you took it off autopilot and just saw what this could do for you over 21 days? It's going to take some time and effort, but I know you can do it. So that could be a few different ways to challenge yourself. But if you really dig deep into the understanding and your own reasons for your resistance and your own reasons for wanting to change and addressing them as the challenges come up, my friend, you will prevail. You will prevail. So today's big habit hack is, how can you find a challenge for yourself this week? And it doesn't have to be like crazy, right? Like lately you've probably been following on social media. You see, I've been doing cold plunges with my husband. We've been having groups of friends over too. It's been so fun in our pool because we're in Indiana and it's still like winter. Come on, spring, get here. But, our pool's like between 35, 40 degrees, and that's hard. That's a big challenge. But it doesn't have to be something like that. It could be something as a small act of self-care for yourself. Maybe it's striking up a conversation or saying hi to a stranger. That feels uncomfortable, right? What if it is just saying something nice to yourself? This is one area we really struggle with. A couple months ago in this society, we were really focused on self-love in the month of February, and their challenge for the month was to say something nice about themselves every day. That was hard. That was probably one of our hardest challenges, and that's because that doesn't come natural to us. If you need a little help with that, if you were like, man, I got this inner critic, I got this negative self-talk I just can't overcome, I do have a Mindset Reset journal pages available for you in the Transformation Shop. You can just go to transformationshop.co to find those if you need some help actually writing it down, finding those triggers, and eliminating those habits that are triggering you to have that negative self-talk. So, my friend, you can't spell challenge without change, and that is where the true growth is. I think leading into why you want to change your healthy habits, in particular, leaning into knowing that this is going to be challenging, but that you can do hard things. We've talked about doing hard things so many times on the podcast. I know you will have a massive transformation on the other side and be set up for success when that next challenge will hit you, because life isn't easy. There's always going to be hills to climb. There's always going to be some type of burden to carry. But my friend, if you are taking care of yourself, leaning into your healthy habits, I know you can do this. Okay. So let me know if today's episode resonated with you. Y'all, I'm getting really close to 100 reviews on the show. If you feel inclined, if you love the show, like literally take 1 minute, you can do it while I'm talking. In iTunes, just click 5 stars, write a quick little review, what you love the most about the show. It will help other women find the show as well. So I'm sending you a big hug. We'll continue the conversation on self-care next week in a whole new light. Maybe you've never thought about it before. All right, gang. Thanks for listening to this week's Habit Hack. I'll see you later next week. Hey girl, real quick before you go, if you want some free motivation texted to you every week to help you habit hack your health, send me your favorite emoji to 773-904-2157 to sign up for my weekly pump-up text. I can't wait to catch up with you there. And if you have any quick questions for me or feedback, it's me on the other end, so text me back, friend. And if you love the show, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a rating and review in iTunes. That way more mamas can find the show. Tag me in your Instagram stories at EmilyNichols22 what you love about the show. Show me your review so I can shout you out. Love and appreciate you, friend. I'll see you next time.